On today's episode, we will have an interview with Nick Van Leek and discuss his book, The Murder of Vincent Van Gogh. We will then highlight Ashley Dyer's Splinter in the Blood. Welcome.
Hello and welcome to Bookends number 11. I can't believe we've had 11 of these.
I can't believe this is our silver anniversary episode.
This is our silver episode. And aren't we silvery?
And hey, we haven't pod faded yet.
Yes, we're hanging in there, people.
I hope you are too.
I'm host Ann Dark.
Tracy Stormy.
And I'm Kathy Knight.
And we welcome you to our 25th episode of It Was a Dark and Stormy Book Club. Yay, our silver.
Wow,
that's
happy
pretty...
silver anniversary, guys.
Could you imagine if we had been doing this for 25 years?
No, I can't.
Some days it feels like that.
Okay, we're all battened down and ready for the whatever part of the hurricane we get here on the Chesapeake Bay.
As of this recording, we are anticipating Hurricane Florence. She's a hurricane, so she's going to do whatever she wants. Right now, It looks like she's heading towards Charleston, South Carolina.
It's still 500 miles of wind around it.
I'm sure we'll get something from it, but hopefully Florence behaves, which is hilarious. My mother-in-law's name and Kathy's mother's name is
my
Florence.
Mother. Careful.
There's so many jokes there. So many.
Yes. Well, my friend Mary lives in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I was texting with her earlier today, just making sure that she's ready for the storm to hit. And I had to chuckle because Mary is not one of my mother's favorite people. And I just had to laugh because I feel like Florence is out to get her.
Well, hopefully everyone is safe.
That is the number one concern. Everyone will be in our thought.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Tracy will be glad of this. My husband, I made him go out and buy extra gas for the generator.
That does make me happy.
We live in the middle of the woods.
And on a peninsula on the water.
Right. We live at the very, very tip of the top of the Chesapeake Bay. We lose power every time a breeze blows a crossway. We are ready, batteries in the flashlight, and we're good.
Good.
Good. Since you're prepared, that means nothing will happen.
That's what I told the woman in the store today when she said, "Oh, you're getting prepared." And I said, "But if I'm prepared, it won't come. If I'm not prepared, it'll hit us like a brick. We're ready. Whatever Florence decides, and wait till I see your mother-in-law. And we'll see what kind of damage she can do."
Nick Van Leek is a widely published investigative photojournalist, best-selling author, and professional freelance photojournalist. His expertise is in true crime. Nick has interrogated in meticulous detail some of the biggest, most complex, and high-profile unsolved cold cases in America, Britain, France, and South Africa. In the interview, we discuss his book, The Murder of Vincent Van Gogh. We definitely learned a lot after reading Mr. Van Leek's book and discussing this on the interview. Stay tuned for the interview.
We would like to welcome Nick Van Leek to our podcast. He is the author of Murder of Vincent Van Gogh, and we are talking to him in London.
Welcome, Nick.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay, thank you.
We sent Nick some questions, and we're going to start with those. In your previous books are more current headline crimes like the murder of Jean Bonnet and the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. What intrigued you about the death of Vincent Van Gogh over 100 years ago?
I guess I was watching the animated film Loving Vincent, and at the time I was taking a break from a book on mass murderers, and I was sort of profiling those, and so my head was in kind of the profiling space. I was really surprised in my sort of off time, just to sort of taking time off from true crime writing, to find that this movie was sort of like almost like a documentary and done in almost a true crime style, just basically taking real characters, real paintings out of his life and sort of retracing the stories. And you could tell it was all founded, all anchored in history and in reality and in his art. And then you had the postman's son sort of almost unwillingly and reluctantly at first in his attempt to deliver a letter to Vincent's brother. He starts sort of investigating what happened to him, and everyone tells him a different story, and so you have this strange mystery that's rooted in historical fact. And the film goes to quite a extent towards a certain point, and then it stops and walks it back, which I thought was a shame, and I thought it was a little bit like throwing in a towel. And I thought, I wonder if one does a true crime analysis of that, whether it'll go somewhere. And I sort of thought it probably won't, but who knows, let's just have a look. So I kind of had my true crime radar, red flags sort of fluttering a little bit. And I thought, well, if we test this particular scenario in terms of three pillars, the one is, did he cut his own ear off? Was he truly mad? That's the second one. And did he definitely commit suicide? Like was his motive to commit suicide there? Because it's killing yourself is murdering yourself. You also could have a motive. And so I thought, if I can prove at least one of those, I've got a case. If I can prove two, it's a strong case. And I really didn't expect to prove all three.
I'm curious, how long did you work on this?
Not very long. I mean, I basically sort of consumed everything that I could get hold of. So I read other books, I watched other documentaries, I Googled my way through all the available information. Obviously, it's very strategic searches and a very, how can I put it, a very targeted way of dealing with it. There's not a heck of a lot of literature dealing with, was he murdered? It's certainly not the first time anyone's ever asked the question.
Well, there is now.
Yeah.
Just as a separate question, do you think that if his family had shown him love or acceptance, that he would have gone down the path that he did?
Yes, I do, because I think they showed him a tremendous amount of support and patience, especially his brother. So rather than this impression that he was cast out by his family and so on, I actually think that they put up with him perhaps more than other families would. Certainly his brother. He was even writing letters to his mother near the time of his death, and they were embarrassed by what he was doing, and certainly by the scandal of him going into this asylum and him being thrown out of the town. When he was in the south of France, he was effectively thrown out of the town because of the gossip and everything that was going on. The fact that the family sort of still stood by him and still gave him money shows that they still loved him. They still treated him quite well. One thing I did try to show in the book was that he had quite a difficult relationship with his parents, especially his father.
That's that's what I was referring to in my question, was his father didn't approve of him. His mother was cold. If they had shown parental love, would that
I think his mother could have been maybe kinder to him or whatever, but his brother sort of picked up that part of it. And his father did die fairly young. I think his father died at 60, so his father was out of the picture fairly early on. And his father left him an inheritance, and his brother basically dealt with that inheritance, which a lot of people, I don't think, know. A lot of people think he was penniless, he never had any money, but he did. That's why he was able to paint.
Do you think they will ever change his official death ruling to murder?
or questionable, or will they leave it as suicide?
I think they'll stick with a popular narrative. So as long as people prefer to think of him as a troubled artist, as a mad artist, as a martyr for his art, as long as the popular opinion of him is that, I think they will stick to that. But having said that, Bernadette Murphy is sort of an amateur historian and an amateur enthusiast. She was living in France and she pursued what I call the urban, and she spoke to a lot of people and she investigated and she went to America and she followed up leads and she moved the narrative forward in terms of the ear. And I think the Van Gogh Museum had to some extent amended. I mean, I know she went and spoke to them in Amsterdam at the museum and she's done a documentary where she's speaking to them. So I think that has changed. But whether the suicide thing is going to change, so far it hasn't. If I had to say yes or no, I would guess they wouldn't.
Okay.
Because I think the value of his art is sort of proportionate to him being troubled, and the more troubled he is, the more valuable the art is.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And plus, it's a better story.
It's more romantic.
The flip side to that, sort of feel it would be a shame if they didn't at least consider it and explore it and read my book or whatever it is, because it's the anniversary, 130-year anniversary in 2020 of his death. So who knows, maybe there'll be, I know there are other movies coming out with Willem Dafoe and so on. But if you think about the fact that he was killed and then he took the rap for it in a way. And I mean, that was the biggest obstacle I had to deal with in the book was, why would he publicly say that he'd shot himself if he hadn't? And on the face of it, that seems like an impossible obstacle to go over. And I thought it would be. I thought it would be impossible. But then by the same token, I also thought, what about the ear? You know, did he say he cut off his ear? And did he take the rap for that? And he did. He never said he cut his ear off, but he certainly suffered as though he was mad. I mean, he admitted himself to an insane asylum because of what everyone else said. In my opinion, it's an even more tragic story. It may not be that he's more troubled, but it certainly is a far more tragic story. Imagine you murdered and you sort of let your murderer off the hook and everybody thinks of you in a way that you don't really deserve to be thought of. I mean, your art self, maybe that justifies it. And one does wonder what, if he could stand up out of his grave, what he would say. What he would say about everything.
What I learned from reading your book that I did not know and makes this so intriguing is how long he survived after being shot. And he had the opportunity to talk.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about suicide, the whole point of it is to avoid pain and to avoid suffering. To shoot yourself in the stomach and then to suffer for 30 hours. He didn't shoot himself in the room where he died. He was shot
in a field.
Yeah. If he really wanted to die, he could have just laid there and died. But he sort of got up and he stumbled all the way into town and into his room to his bed. And then he asked for a doctor. So if he wanted to die, why would he have asked for a doctor? And he asked for the bullet to be removed from his stomach. And Dr. Cachet didn't want to or couldn't or didn't feel it was possible. And,
he didn't want to.
No, I mean, if you think of it practically, where he was less than an hour from Paris. So if the problem was proper treatment, proper medical care, then the train station was literally around the corner from where he was staying. Paris was less than an hour by train from there, and he lived 30 hours. So he could easily have gotten medical care.
Yes.
Do you put that on Dr. Cachet because he didn't call for help or do anything to help him?
Well, I think it's very interesting that eyewitnesses and ear witnesses said that when Dr. Cachet went to treat him, there was like no discussion between them. They were supposed to be friends.
Right.
And Dr. Cachet ultimately took his art as payment for treating him. And if you think about it, how could he, if he killed himself? I mean, you're supposed to treat him for depression. The fact that he's supposedly committed suicide means he failed in his job.
Yes.
But to take all the artwork that he did was actually not, he's paying himself for failing in his job, and Van Gogh needed his help the most. He didn't really do anything. In fact, he didn't even stay by his bedside for very long. Another doctor did, and so did his brother.
Yes.
So it's all very sinister.
Yes, it really is. And along that line of questioning, do you feel that his posthumous popularity was spurned by his suicide?
Not initially. I think it was very scandalous and an embarrassment to the family what had happened. I mean, you must remember at that stage, it was that part of France was Catholic France. And so it was so